Okay, good morning. There is a lot of great information to share today. We've got some brand new numbers for the first quarter with Cardus. Excited to share that with you. We've got some good progress and some key focuses to keep us on track, keep us on point, things that I think will be really important for us as we hit the midsummer months here. So let's jump right in. Before we get into our numbers, I want to thank our La Plata and Woodbridge offices. They are the winners of our monthly contest, which was NM Exclusive Connections for the month of March. There was a tie, so each one of those branches is getting an extra point on their 20-point scale. What does that mean? Well, if you're in one of those branches, you made your branch leader look really good at the operations meeting, but I bet that's not as important to you as what does it mean to you. What it means to you, and I don't have it 100%, but we will announce to you, and we will have a way where that will directly affect your business building goals. So if you hit a certain number of points as a branch, it will help you with your business building goals if somehow you didn't make it. So we don't have that done yet, but La Plata and Woodbridge, you have an extra point, and that isn't going to hurt you. It's only going to help you, and I will have that for you by the next A-team. We just really need to kind of get a little more experience with it to see what is a good number. So the quest for triple platinum, I put up a really confusing looking screen here, and this is my screen. This is in each of the anagrams, all of the stuff that gets tracked for us to make platinum. And it gets down to how many surveys did we have returned, and do we do the market updates on time? Do we pay them on time? All the things that you're probably familiar with, customer service and BMAs and all of the different things that are tracked. I would never do this to you guys. Just trying to remind everybody that there's a whole lot that goes into it. It's a flexible number, but there are a lot of things that are huge responsibility for me to make sure that the whole company knows exactly where they can affect this, what's good for them, both in their personal business and for protecting our platinum status, so we can always enjoy as much of this business as we can possibly get. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. Here's how we're actually standing year to date. So the goal in each of the anagrams, and CTE for everybody that's down in our Fredericksburg area, NML is our Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. area, and NMM is our Maryland area. The goal at the end of the year is that you got to have a minimum of 35 points. And you build points during the course of the year. You also lose points during the course of the year. But here's where we stand. So at last month, we had 26 points. This month, we moved forward by 3 points. We have 29 points in CTE versus a goal of 35. In NML, last month we had 31 points. We moved forward 6 points, and we are at 37, ahead of the platinum goal. We are tracking for platinum. In NMM, we were at 29 points last month. We moved forward 6 points, and we are exactly tracking for platinum. That's great early on in the year, guys. This is ahead of where we were last year. So we've removed some bad months of performance. We've replaced them with really good months of performance. If you're in CTE, don't freak out about this. It is a little bit harder for us to make platinum in CTE. It has to do with the fact that we don't have as much corporate business down there. Some things where we don't qualify to get points. So I'm not worried about this, and I do the math. If we keep moving forward by 3 points, we're going to be in really, really good shape, and we've got some great information to share with you in CTE. One thing I want to tell you guys is that when we won the Cup, or when we were nominated for the Cup, we always tracked well above platinum, well above it. And so that's where we're wanting to get back to, and we're on the path. This early on in the year to be tracking around it and looking like this, it means we're doing all the right things, and we just need to keep moving forward. So I wanted to break down, instead of getting into all of the metrics, everybody knows that we have a lot of USAA clients, that it's a big part of our business. So let's look at how we're doing in those metrics, and I think it's going to probably tell a story for how we're doing in most areas of our business. So this is in our CTE anagram, and I told you guys I had some good news. Take a look at the goals. For buyer conversion, the goal is 50%. Last month you were at 58. This month you're at 60%. First time we've ever hit 60% in buyer conversion, so congratulations, really great job. Seller conversion, 30% is the goal. We were at 38, we took a little pop back to 36, but we're still tracking well ahead of the goal and at 36% conversion, getting the platinum points. Overall service, 82% last month, 85% this month. Agent service, 91% last month, 92% this month. So we're moving forward in service. And one thing I wanted to let you guys know, what I decided to do on service is normally what we look at for buyer and seller conversion, we look at an entire year. It's the only fair way to make it statistically significant, and that's how Cardus looks at things. For the overall service, we didn't have a great year last year, so for us and our messages, I want to track what's going to end up affecting platinum for the next year. So far this year, this is how we're doing. This is not a rolling 12 months. This is how we're doing this year. Let's look at our NML anagram. Buyer conversion, we moved forward from 47 to 49%. We're 1 point behind where the platinum points are for USAA and tracking in the right direction. 29% last month in seller conversion, 30% this month, and we're exactly hitting the platinum points that we need. Service, overall service 100% last month, we dropped to 94% against a goal of 90, so we're still tracking for the platinum points. Same with our agent service, where we dropped from 100% to 97%, tracking ahead. In NMM, flat on our conversion, 47% last month and 40% this month, so we needed to focus a little bit on our conversion to get up to 50% where our platinum points are. We need 3%, absolutely not a problem, we can do that. Same thing on seller conversion, 27% last month, 20% this month, we need to pick up 3 points. So it's those long-term deals, it's those people that we can't get in touch with, it's a little quicker at getting in touch with people. It's all the things that create conversion. We need that focus. In service, we went up from 94% to 96%, tracking on the platinum points. 92 on agent service to 93, tracking on the platinum points. So overall, really good numbers. Those are good things, guys, and we're doing really well. I want to get into the service because typically this is the time of year where numbers go down a little bit. And I just want us to think, since you guys are hitting the numbers for the most part, we had most of those platinum points, not pontificating or telling you things that you don't know. But as you get busy, as we're running around with multiple clients, as you know, we're wanting to take maybe a day or two in the summer, and we've got clients that are running around, let's keep in mind what people are looking for. This is what comes back whenever I look at the surveys. When we talk about agent service, these are the kinds of things that they're rating, and these are the kinds of things that they talk about in the comments. And you can probably think of more, but these are the key ones that come out. They want you to have market knowledge. They want you to know the area. They want you to be able to talk about that. They want you to have contract and transactional experience. Organization, your organizational appearance, your organizational systems that you are bringing people through are important. Following up always comes up in the comments. I wrote down listening here. What they write is understanding. So when I see a really good survey, it says, so-and-so really understood our needs. They really worked with us on what our needs were, and I felt like they were really, they really understood us, i.e. they listened to us. Rapport and relationship building. So once we've got the basic systems and they come into the system, and that's what's really important to them. They want a system first, and then they want to know us and really like us. So rapport and relationship building. In our listings, we can add on our quality of marketing, and in all things, our negotiation and representation of their interests. And that's always a funny one because I rarely get a survey that's a really good one where they talk about this. It's somewhat just expected. But if they don't get it and they don't feel they got it, they talk about it often. So it's really important that we make sure that they know that we have their best interest in mind and that we actually talk about that. Overall service. What's different about the overall service and how do we affect it? Well, here's what they talk about. They talk about how did we do, and they don't say quarterbacking the transaction, but they do talk about our ability to help them through the whole process. And for me, it's just easiest to say it that way, that we're responsible not only for just our services, but for everything that's going on in this transaction, and we're the quarterback. They definitely talk about whether or not we're able to recommend and help them with services, and particularly with the programs, right? If it's USAA or NFCU, that we're knowledgeable about the USAA mortgage products and or the processes, right? Little things like the member has to activate their application by making that phone call. We have to know those things. We have to be the one that guides them through that process and makes it easy for them to use those services, because that's what they wanted from us. And they want recommendations from you on all the other things that you're always recommending out to them. And hopefully NM Exclusive Connections is just one more thing that helps you with that. Problem solving. Nobody wants to have a problem, but everybody wants to have somebody who steps to the plate and keeps everybody calm, builds trust, and is able to walk them through. If there's a problem, it's not about whether or not there was a problem. It's about whether or not you were a solution and whether or not you were able to talk them through it and say, hey, you know what? Got it. I know this isn't going the way that you wanted it to. I don't know why, because normally this is a great service, but it's my responsibility, and I'll help you get it taken care of. That's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear, oh, I don't know why that guy isn't doing a good job. Who cares? They want us to help them with it, and they want us to be the partner that we said that we would be. I also wrote follow up here again because that is the one word that shows up in both. The easiest way to differentiate these things as you're talking to people about the service, there's two questions. One is about the agent and one is about the overall. The agent is about me and how you like my services. And the overall service is, how did I do in helping you navigate all of the other things? If there were problems, you would add this on. If there was a problem, it's not about whether or not you had a problem. It's about whether or not I was a resource and I helped you with that problem. I hope that I earned a 10 and an exceptional rating from you in both of those things. So really important that we deliver the service. Really important that we understand the mechanics of the survey to make sure that people know that there are two questions and that they can understand how we actually are rated as overall service. What I wrote down is the exceptional experience, because this is how we make money, guys. This is how people will refer us over and over again, and this is how they will either tell people that they should do business with us or tell people that they shouldn't do business with us. And I read this great article. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it if you're on Facebook. It's about Apple and the Apple Watch. But there were three components to service. One is about delivering what's expected, right? Go back to what's on those slides. They expect that we can sit down and explain the process to them. They expect that we know the inventory and can get them out to houses. They expect that we have contract knowledge. The next thing is delivering what they're relying upon us for. So that's the listening skills and the understanding. So that there are certain things that these clients individually have, whether it be, let's say, our ExxonMobil client who has 30 days to sell and they get a bonus. Do we have that understanding? Do we know what they're trying to accomplish? Are we listening to them on that? And since we do this so many times, sometimes I don't know that we always explain exactly how well we understand everything. And it's really critical that they think that we're listening, that they think that we understand their concerns. And quite frankly, if they've got expectations that are not realistic, we have to talk about those things in a professional way where we give them a day of service. We talk to them about our resume and our ability to accomplish things for them and what we can and can't do for them. Doing that up front or doing that on the phone is a terrible idea. Once they know us, once they know you, they're going to love you and they're going to want to work with you. And you're going to explain to them, hey, there's some areas where you have some needs. Maybe we need to talk a little bit about those things. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Then finally, where you really separate yourself out is where you deliver something unexpected that really stood out. And sometimes those are the simplest things. Sometimes it's having water in the car. Sometimes it's doing including somebody that you've got in your Popeyes. It's the little tiny things that stood out to somebody to say, you know what? They got number 1 and 2. They did everything that I expected them to do. They listened to me and they understood my needs. And then they did something that I did not expect that really made me feel good about this transaction. And I knew that they cared. And all of that stuff, it can never be done without outstanding communication. And obviously, if I go back and look at the slides, we're doing really, really well because we're blessed to work with a team that really gets it, that's working really hard at this, and it's very appreciated. Want to remind everybody, typically our numbers go down in the summer, so it's really important that we talk, communicate, set great expectations. If you're busy, we have to make sure that number 2 gets taken care of, right? They're relying on you. So I understand we all have to work with multiple clients, but there's a way to communicate that to make them feel comfortable that they're a priority for us and we're going to get the things done that they really need to get done. They'll stick with us and they'll refer us forever if we do that. This month's extra point. This was what we put up in April and said whoever places the most friends and family referrals, so just placements. I've changed it. It's now these months, extra points, plural. So the contest is going to last from April 1st to June 30th. The branch who has the most placements per A-team agent, so that each office, no matter how big your office is scaled identically based on how many A-team agents are in your office. The branch with the most will get 3 points. And again, that's going to make your branch leader look really good, but more importantly, it's going to help you with your business building goals as a team in your office at the end of the year. And then finally, the individual agent who places the most referrals is going to earn $500 in addition to hopefully closing them out. Why are we doing this? 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't want anybody to get to the end of the year and be struggling with the business building unit, so we want to get a pipeline out there and make sure that you guys individually are hitting your goals so that that's not an issue at the end of the year. But there's also, at the end of June, there is a contest within Cartus where we can get 1 platinum point for each anagram, and we desperately want to get that. It's based on closings, and it's also based on placements. And that's where I'm really relying on you to go out there, listen to people, talk to them about our friends and family program, and just get the activity going and look to make some placements. I would challenge that. I believe this in my heart that each of our A-team agents could put 3 in. If you really listen and you really talk about it and you really make sure that it's in all of your presentations, they're out there for us. That said, that's the end of our A-team, and really appreciate the progress that we're making. Really hope that we can have the same kind of conversations at the end of the second quarter. Thank you so much for everything you're doing, and we'll talk to you soon.